What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Redemption 46 Studios. I'm Nick.
And I'm Curtis.
Y'all know the vibes. Y'all seen the picture. Y'all seen the thumbnail. Y'all know why y'all here. Since Compass, special Patreon request from Damien. Since I played your music before.
Really?
Yeah. I downloaded one joint off of hers, and I wasn't trying to like cheat sheet, but this boy I had found, he's an artist. His name is Bio. He was in a competition on the joint we always watching at this point now and shit. What was it? The Show Me the Money or Show Me the Game?
Oh, yeah, Show Me the Money.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was in competition like one of the seasons and shit with that and lost to Sense.
Wait, who lost him?
B.O. had lost to Sense.
Oh, shit.
I always play you this joint there. I was like, oh, sis, like she rap like.
But yeah.
So yeah, so she liked that, basically. So once I had seen that Damon requested Sense, I was like, oh shit, that's a first. Let's jump into it and have a conversation when we're done. I think it'd be better for all parties.
Definitely. Lacing up the
God's here.
Nikes. Just do it.
Yeah, the Dick Forces already tell me what type time she on.
지금이 마지막 길을 헤맬 때 저 말들이 되어줘 지는 아침반 현실이 날 막았지만 끝까지 달려갔지 난 시작은 늦었지만 지금 내 앞을 봐 아무도 틀린 적 없던 나침반 앞을 걸어 one way 눈 감고도 잘 걸어 앞이 원해 나 힘들던 말들은 뒤로 보내 널 그리웠던
I hear her vocals.
앞을 걸어 one way 하루 종일부터 내가 한 선택 실패할 가능성이 표 없다고 덧대 좋지만 취미로 파는 게 뭔데나 덫에 걸렸네 걸어 가끔 정체 모두 자리 잡은 친구들의 텃세 이주기 싫은
Like they're showing the work the 9 to 5 kind of aspect too.
시간들이 협되지 않게 못해 하지 말라고 했다 알들의 이유를 알았지만 나를 꼭 왜했어 결과가 어떻든 내 삶을 떳떳하게 남고 싶어 두렵다고 시작하는 왜 죽고 싶을 만큼 내 노력을 다해 또 내려놓고 싶을 때쯤 희망을 봤네 끝까지 놓지 않았던 나에게 감사해
That's amazing. Working the 9 to 5 and then writing on the pad afterwards.
지금까지 해내왔던 경험들이 되어줄 테니 내 나침반 저는 고민하네 세상의 기준에 안 맞게 느려도 오직 방향은 한개 결국 원하는 곳에 도착해 뒤돌아보지 말고 가 지금이 마지막 길을 헤맬 때 저 말들이 되어줬지 내 나침반 현실이 날 막았지만 끝까지 달려갔지 난 시작은 늦었지만 지금 내 앞을 봐 아무도 틀린 적 없던 나침반 앞을 걸어 one way
Nice transition.
눈 감고도 잘 걸어 앞이 원해
Might be the girliest I've ever seen her. Late clean as shit.
Nice flow switch.
뒤돌아보지 말고 가 지금이 마지막 길을 헤맬 때 저 말들이 되어줬지 내 나침반 현실이 날 막았지만 끝까지 달려갔지 난 시작은 늦었지만 지금 내 앞을 봐 아무도 틀린 적 없던 나침반 앞을 걸어 one way 눈 감고도 잘 걸어 앞이 원해 나 힘들던 말들은 뒤로 보내 늘 그래왔던 것처럼 걸어 one way 앞을 걸어 one way
Let's go, Sense. I hear them fucking vocals in the background too.
Nice. I don't doubt that that's a real thing for her too, like having won a plaque or something like that.
Yeah, let's get it out the way. She's amazing. And I already knew that. Like, I don't want to be like kind of one of them people and shit. Literally listening to two to three tracks that I kind of like already have from her. And mind you, I try not to like really listen to anything without being around them. So I couldn't even like dive into everything. Yeah. You could tell she's special listening to one track. You kind of just already like know she's special. I love B.O. And I was just like, in my mind, I was like, if she beat him in a show, then I already know how she gotta be. She's amazing. I feel like this kind of just gave her more notches in her belt with me. Everything that I've heard from her so far has been mostly just rap stuff. I haven't really got to hear a melodic side of her.
She definitely has vocals though. I mean, she has a beautiful voice.
She has a nice voice. And I know maybe some people don't like to hear this if like you're more old school. If you can't be melodic, I don't know where rap is gonna kind of be for you when it's time to do particular tracks. So, I mean, some people can be straight rappers, but I feel like you might put yourself in a box if you don't at least play with your cadence a little bit. You know what I mean? As far as like, you know, rapping, it's like the evolution of rap. It's like basketball. Like if you're a center and you're a traditional big, that's cool. Like, you know, you're going to get time on certain teams. You're going to be able to rebound. You're going to be able to score. But if you can't shoot the three or defend pick and rolls, it's going to be hard to keep you in the game at all times. That's crazy, you know. If you know, you know. But yeah, I feel like being melodic definitely has to be in your skill set nowadays if you're a rapper, just because you want to be able to get as much done as you can by yourself on these tracks without kind of always having to have particular features unless you really want the feature. But with that being said, like I think she did excellent. Like you said, she had this beautiful voice. You can hear it with her kind of just singing, because this wasn't just melodic. I can hear her in the background just singing. So like I thought that was decent. I don't want anybody to take anything disrespectfully too when I said this is my first time seeing her like girled up. Just because I how can I word this and shit? You know, most of the times, like obviously you want to like look at everybody, and that's what me with males or females to kind of see the whole thing. Like, are you marketable? Like, what your face looks like and everything else.
Yeah, we used to say on the channel, and it's something that at least applies here. It was kind of like, if I was an exec or a CEO, would I be able to kind of market this talent in some way? And that's not to say sexually, of course, but just nonetheless, like, if you're checking off the box, it's like the rap
proverbial
flow
checklist
and cadences, you know, and then you got obviously the vocals and everything like that.
Marketability, the looks and everything like that.
It's definitely, or at least I could see someone investing in you because you have, you know, X amount of things. And those are only things that we're seeing, of course, on, you know, 2-3 listens of, or 1 or 2 listens of 2 or 3 tracks kind of. But it's basically, you're just kind of gearing your mind to see that potential in someone.
Yeah, all that to say, like, I never looked at her in her face like that just to kind of see, you know, anything and stuff. And then, she pretty.
Yeah. And I'm not making that, like, of course, a thing about this industry or anything like that, but there are kind of marketable things where if someone is good looking, you can essentially teach them to kind of carry their own on a track.
I know,
and basically they could be marketable in that way, as opposed to the vice versa, where it's like you got the raw talent. But yeah, I kind of get the essence of what you're saying.
Yeah. This is my first time like kind of really like looking at her face, because like I said, normally every time I've seen her, she's just had like kind of the Scully on.
And
she's always been on rap shit.
The talent is, you know, first and foremost top notch. So it's certainly something easy to you know, want to look at first.
So but yeah, essentially that's what it was for me. I always just heard her bars before anything, but like I said, now just kind of like really looking at her face and everything, like she's very pretty. And I think like that's bodes well for her, because like I said, it's you know, obviously music does come first, but you do want to make sure your artist is marketable, you know what I mean, to be able to appeal to masses. But I like this a lot. Also, shout out to boy, I think his name was Chen. He came on here.
I liked his verse a lot.
I liked his verse, his energy, just even his his attire and everything. I don't know. He had like a good energy, and it's funny because before I get off my point, I like she reminds me of like Core in Philly. And I mean that in the sense of like, if y'all didn't notice, because sometimes we don't like deep dive into rap, I'm a real big fan of like struggle rap.
Me too.
Of just like, I've been broke my whole life. I've been fucked up. No one ever gave me a chance. No one supported me. People said I never was going to make it. I'm here now. I'm here to stay. Y'all going to know about me. I'm the best here.
It's one of the most relatable things in music because it's easy to kind of see someone at the top, but yet there's people like I feel like it's a universal theme in general for everyone to kind of have a dream and want to make it to the top. And it's whenever you see someone at the top, any artists or at least in my case certainly filmmakers and everything, it's a lot about bridging that gap to where it's like, no, I went through this, and being able to articulate that and put that in the music form. So any artist who can kind of say I came from this, it is really relatable in the sense that you can feel like either there's similarities between me and this person, or I know stories like this, I know people like this, so that if they can make it, then essentially you feel like you can make it. And that's at least one of the many facets of rap in general, music in general, but certainly struggle rap in a more specific way that portrays that essence.
But I love it. Like I just love the energy. I feel like in a lot of the struggle rap, you can feel someone's hunger through their pen almost. And it's just like a fighting spirit. And like you said, it really plays on like the underdog themes and stuff. And we're from Philly, so it's just like, that Rocky story, like the I gotta make it and shit. Everybody loves a good underdog story or, a Cinderella story, whatever you phrase it. Yeah, so it's just like everyone loves that story, and I love when you can like hear it conveyed in a pen. And every time she raps, like I really can feel.
And that also comes back to what you were saying earlier about voice inflection and tone and things of that nature, conveying that hunger through your voice, and even a little bit of frustration, I would say, which it's honestly a lot harder than it may seem.
Nah, it is. But I like this a lot for her. I feel like she just showed me she has like more like tools in her tool belt to use like on tracks. Like I said, this just bumped up her as far as marketability, in my opinion. I love the video too. I love the whole, kind of just working like a 9 to 5. I got my Dick sneakers on, I'm out here trying to get it. And it also shows, I guess, her like really about to leave where she was from to turn into like who she wants to be. At least that's how I took it. It looked like she was about to either get on a flight or do something or whatever to go to the performance and everything, and then to go continue being a rapper and everything else. So I like the video and everything else and stuff where it's just like she showed two aspects of working almost. It was just like I'm working my 9 to 5 and then I'm working in the booth. I'm working on practicing on my cadence and my flow, and all that to prepare for the concert or the performance that she had like on here and stuff. I like it a lot. It felt gritty. It felt like a little movie almost and shit. I liked it. That's my.
No, it was really. She was able to portray all those things so authentically through the video, through her voice inflections, her flows, cadences, all those things. And as a side note too, just her acting overall, I would say, because it is kind of something about part of the everyday crowd. And I just kind of had my head down and I'm just kind of minding my own, going through my day. And some might take that as almost like a disinterested or kind of look, but and I just as an analogy, I'm not saying that this is particular, but it just kind of echoes a little bit of the same themes. Is 8 Mile, just kind of on the Scully, just kind of like your head lowered down, your shoulders just kind of like bobbing. You're just kind of like, it's like no matter where you are in your physical space, it's like your mind is always on that craft. And I just think that was also something that was really portrayed well here. Before I get too off point into everything that she was doing, I did want to shout out the featured artist, Chen, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure what group or what hip hop or anything like that he may be from, if he's in a group or anything like that. But nonetheless, I thought he had a great verse as well. And just to touch a little bit on his verse specifically before I get back to her, was I like that he basically called into effect the whole idea of like it's essentially like I gotta like almost like a this is like my life on the line sort of thing, where it's like, you know, because he says like I gotta basically go as hard as I can to get to the edge of that cliff. Basically, like you got to be willing to essentially lose everything. The cliff analogy, of course, being like your life, you know, going too far off the deep end, so to speak. But then basically saying that as far as like that's how daring you have to be in going towards your dream. Because if you do anything less, then A, you're not going to make it. B, you're not living up to your full potential. And then C, if you don't make it, you're going to be looking back saying, I could have done this differently, I could have done that differently. At least at the end of any journey or dream that you're chasing, you never want to be able to look back on your life and think about any kind of missed opportunities or moments you failed or things you would have done differently. So I think that there's a real passion and a real just a real humility almost too within the craft that basically says I'm giving it everything I've got. And then just as a side note, if you're, let's just say, working your 9 to 5, and let's just say you're maybe getting 6 to 8 hours of sleep, essentially that other 8 to 10 hours that you have in your life, you know, mind you, let's just say you minus 2 or 3 of them because you're traveling back and forth, you know, to and from work, you're probably eating for an hour or something in between. So it's like, let's just say like if you have a core 5 or 6 hours maybe to work on your craft and to really push your dream forward, it's like that time becomes so crucial and so critical, which is another aspect I liked of the video, which is when she was eating the noodles and everything. And granted, I'm not, you know, culturally educated to say so, but I would imagine for the aspects that they were trying to portray in the video that was probably one of the lower class kind of meals to have, just to basically say like I'm just eating to kind of get by sort of thing. But you're also, even just if I'm, you know, shoving that point aside, it's the fact that you're eating while doing your craft, and that's something we've talked about here on several other reactions, where it was like in the soup, where we said like you're basically, while you're eating, you're watching a podcast or something, you're trying to fill your mind so that time is used, so you kind of multitask to maximize your time. So I thought that was a really great aspect as well. The last two things I was going to say, at least as far as the video aspect, was definitely you know, the messed up Nikes, like basically you've been doing this. Like this isn't, you know, just something it's basically a way visually to communicate that this has been going on for a long time. Like you've been at your grind for a long time, which I did think was very serviceable. And the fact that they only do that within, you know, 1 or 2 seconds of framing is just, I'll always appreciate visual storytelling in that regard. 2, when she's actually working at the diner or whatever, if I'm not mistaken, or the grocery store could be, when she looks up at that reflection mirror that's in all the convenience stores that you'll see, I thought it was so beautiful because A, that's such a prop that's so common in like real life, like in stores. So the fact that they use that, because basically she's like kind of reflecting on her dreams seemingly, and when she looks up there and you see the reflection, because of the angle of the reflection, it makes everything look smaller so that you can capture the full scale of everything that's going on in the store. But basically, she is like reflecting on her dream, and then she looks back up at that reflection, and it makes her look so small and insignificant. And I just thought that was a beautiful use of framing and isolation to kind of make her seem as though she didn't matter. But also it portrays the store in a larger aspect, which is basically saying the 9 to 5 is kind of bigger than you. So it's just it was a really great way of like 1 to 2 seconds of framing to kind of visually communicate the odds being stacked against her, which I thought was great as well. And then the last thing I was going to touch on, at least in the video, was I love the match cut. It's probably my favorite moment in the actual video itself, is when she's seemingly writing her bars and hanging them up at the end of the day, or she's like promoting herself, like, you know, I'll be at my show or whatever. I wasn't exactly sure which of the two that was, but when she hangs up the note and then it match cuts the note with her taking an order at the grocery store, that was brilliant. That match cut is essentially the essence of everything, where it's like, you know, I'm working on my craft, but then I'm working this kind of 9 to 5 aspect. And then technically, of course, everything that she was doing on the track, you know, her flow switch ups and cadences, the melodic aspects of her voice, you know, showcasing the vocals as well. I thought all that was done incredibly well. And just to kind of wrap up my point, really, for the most part, is I love whenever compasses are kind of used as like guiding forces in storytelling and music. It's one of the literary devices that I just think is so strong, and you're able to do so much with it. For one, because compasses were obviously, before GPS and everything, and it was basically you were trusting in this device to kind of guide you, and basically saying that my dream and everything is what's going to be that guiding force for me. I just thought that was so strong. And then in the lyricism where she said basically I can have my eyes closed and this is still going to be something that's I'm able to follow, like I'm able to see, which is just that inner desire, of course. But also tying that back, just the fact that it's a magnet in general as well. Like a magnet is actually what guides you, you know? So basically almost creating that symbiotic connection where it's like there's a magnet, like I'm being pulled to this. Like it's not even like I'm following this. It's like this is something that's pulling me. It just creates so much more of a subtext to me for portraying what your dream represents to you, as opposed to I'm just chasing it. It's like, no, my dream is like pulling me. Like it just it makes everything kind of hit so much harder on top of everything. And again, as you said, just only a couple tracks to go off of. She's quite a force to be reckoned with. Yeah, this is a strong download for me as well.
Yeah, so let me clarify like a few things. One, she didn't even win the show. She was the first runner-up, and Bio was the second runner-up.
Oh shit.
Joe Guam Il had won their.
Yeah, you're kind of like what's Bull like.
Yeah.
That's what I love about those shows as well. It really is a beautiful showcase of talent.
Another thing, ironically too, her birthday's tomorrow.
Really?
December 28th. Yeah, because it's 27 days.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Yeah. So technically, good timing.
Happy birthday.
Another thing too, I swear I thought she was like 19 years old.
Really? How old is she?
She's about to be 30.
Really? She's been in the
she's
game
92, like one.
Hey.
But like came a long way. Also, shout out to her. She became the first female musician to win New Artist of the Year at the Korean Hip Hop Awards.
That's incredible.
Y'all opening my world up. I'm looking at the like Korean Hip Hop Awards that really like first got established, I guess, like in 2017. When it's saying like Artist of the Year and just looking at the nominees and stuff, these are people who frequent on the channel and stuff. They got like hip hop albums like of the year for the last couple of Junes. Hip hop tracks. Look, Changmo. Changmo look like he been killing it, especially this year in a couple of Junes. BY. R&B stuff, I seen Dean and all them up on here. DPR Ian, we just did and shit. The R&B tracks of the year, Lehigh, we just did her Jones.
That's crazy.
Not too long ago. Dean again. Producers is everybody who we've been talking about. Collaborations, Jackie Fade Away.
Hey. She's got quite a catalog.
Simon Dominic and them. Justice. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just sitting here looking. I'm just like, damn, these is all.
I love the character webbing of this, where everything is kind of all the dots are seemingly like
Bowman Tiger, labels, all the underground labels. It's really that. I'm just looking at everything and it's just kind of just like, damn, like,
dots are dotting.
Yeah, the dots are dotting. Like everything is starting to make sense. Is as much as we do, not to run on a tangent and shit. As much as we do stuff in the idol world, we got our foot in the K world a little bit, like from the looks of it. We kind of know some of the players now.
Yeah.
We just gotta y'all gotta help us bolster our discography when it comes to them. Cause mind you, I used to be talking heavy on some like, yo, ain't nobody out rapping Simon Dominic. We obviously we know what Jay Park does. It feels like he's kind of, I don't want to say like the backbone of K rap, but
This was one that kind of uppercutted me when we checked out the Killing verse too.
But now taking a look on here, at least for the last like 3 years, he looked like he like kind of been killing shit. Yeah. When we did the Changmo joint, I just was like, okay, this shit different, because we did Swoosh Flow, and I'm like, all right, this shit kind of different. Bro just won like I think like best album, new artist, and everything else and shit too. So I'm just like, okay, the K rap shit is just so different. You really gotta be a decent idol, and I'm not about to like say names and everything. You really gotta be a decent idol to still have your foot in the K world, kinda, as far as like the rap scene, and be on tracks with like the rappers, and then still drop idol music too.
Yeah.
And it's only a couple people and shit. Like I said, I'm not gonna name names. You got a couple guys, you know what I mean? Like it's a couple guys you can start naming. I respect that a lot.
Nah, for sure. It's honestly just the work ethic, really, what it comes down to.
Yeah, especially like to still have to worry about comebacks with your group, touring, dance practices, variety shows, interviews, and then still be able to jump on like rap tracks and shit with like people in the K world. That's a lot. Yeah, Damon. Thank you for this, man.
This was special.
It's like you said, the dots are starting to dot almost. Like everything is kind of just making a little bit more sense because now
the stars became a constellation.
Nah, real shit. Because I told them too and shit, and I wasn't trying to offend anybody. And I was like, stop giving us things to react to from Show Me the Money joint, just because the VVS joint is crazy. That might be one of my favorite downloads of this year and shit.
And honestly, just when Lowe had given us a little bit of backstory that it was one of the top songs of that year, like even compared with some of the Idol music. And of course, I'm taking that with a grain of salt because I can't speak on the specifics. But nonetheless, it was it was an incredibly well received song, and that's what we were saying when we initially reacted to it. Where it's like, oh my god, this is just a show kind of performance that was put on. Like this felt like it needed to be so much bigger, and it was just so relatable. And every artist on it carried, of course, but just knowing that was something that did as well as it did, and then knowing what we've come to learn about the Show Me the Money episodes or seasons, if you will, or anything like that, and then just artists like this and many others, I'm sure, that are really, and honestly, that's another thing I'm going to tie into this video specifically is kind of you're working so hard on your craft so that when the opportunity comes for you to be on that stage, that you're ready to knock it out the park. And I just thought that's something that correlates both between what we've seen of the Show Me the Monies. It sounds funny to say. What we've seen of the Show Me the Money seasons or episodes and what we've seen of the artists, particularly, especially in this video. Just kind of like grinding for that special moment so that when it comes, you have no stone left unturned, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing too is, like I said, I'm not trying to go too far in here, but I see like BY won like a year and stuff like that. Even looking at the judges, and that's where I was going to lean on too, is that the Redeemers are giving us so much good information with certain things that now we're walking into some situations knowing a little bit better. Like I said, when I first watched Island and when I first was excuse me, I got cold as shit, was watching the Treasure show.
Yeah.
It was things going on, and I'm just like, oh, okay, that seems cool. Or I'm like, that person might be important. But now, imagine watching a rap show and you see like, Dean, Zico, BY, Justice. Now names already. You see Simon Dominic, Jay Park. So now it's just like, oh, okay, he's Big Dog, or he owns this label, or he's this. That everything makes sense now, as opposed to being blind, kind of walking into some shit.
Yeah, exactly, because you have not only a musical attachment, but also an emotional attachment in a way to those names, to where it's like, and honestly, that's what I would say just in general that I've loved about some of the variety content in general, or survival show content in general, is just the fact that you get invested in these people, you care about their journeys, you want them all to succeed and to win, so that when they're all almost stacked against each other, you're like, no one deserves to lose. But even so, it's obviously you give the utmost credit and props to whoever does come away with a victory, but you feel like you walk away from each of those aspects and each of those things having love and respect for everything.
Jesus Christ. Is that?
But yeah, you walk away from each of those aspects feeling like you come away with love and respect for each of the artists and want to follow their journeys and see wherever they end up too. So yeah.
Yeah, nah, but it's like I said, it's really dope now. Just kind of wanting to jump into like all that content, because now it's just like you know all the players and everything like that, and shout out to that show too, because
they have an eye for talent.
Yeah, and it looks like remember early on like American Idol, where basically if you were a runner-up or a person on there, you basically were getting like those Kelly Clarksons, those Fantasias, Ruben Stunners, Jordan Sparks, like people who were selling records, were like you left the show and you really won. It wasn't kind of like some of these shows now where like you kind of win but nothing happens kind of after that. Everyone that looks like they're attached to the show looks like those rappers. Like I said, BY ones.
Yeah, and I can't speak on connections with the show or kind of blacklisting or any of those kind of aspects, but I'm sure that those people have quite an influence to where if you're someone who catches their eye, you're gonna go places. At least that's the aspect that I get of it. But even so, just this just makes me so excited for any future reactions, either to this artist, to any of the K R&B or hip hop artists, and then any of the Show Me the Money or other kind of survival content like that. Because what we're seeing is just incredible.
Yeah, because I'm trying to see what was on the joint and shit. Because look, Bobby from Icon.
Yeah, and I believe he featured with Big Bang on some things as well. But another one of those things where it's like, they're just a person, but then now it's like, oh my God, you really know kind of the impact where you can look back and kind of think those things. And honestly, it kind of gives me a little bit more from the present side of it, of if you were to watch it now and watch current seasons, of course, if it still airs or if there's anything like that, to where you're seeing artists who you might not know, but then you're feeling like they're going to go places too. Almost like we talk about with comebacks, where it's things that we're still catching up to, as opposed to this just dropped today, kind of where we know what that journey is. But yeah.
Okay, then I'm very interested because I was trying to see if we did want to start watching the show and shit, where we start from. I don't know why it's only letting me go the earliest to season 3, which should be a popping season. They had B.I. and Bobby on it, both from Icon.
Was he established at that point, do you think, or no?
Bobby, yeah.
Well, what season are they on?
This is season 3, but this aired in 2014.
Okay, yeah, so this probably would have been really early around that time then.
So this definitely would have been early on and everything.
No, that's crazy.
Which is crazy. We just was listening to BT the other day from BI. Yeah, see, I'm interested because now, like I said, it just sets up so many other things, and I didn't even touch on that. How many how idols were on here.
Yeah.
From different groups and shit like that, who were contestants for it might have lost in the preliminaries or kind of early on, but who are popping in the K world, and as far as being an idol goes. No long talk. Jump in the comments. Tell us how y'all felt about this. Definitely do want to get into the shows. I just kind of want to see the format. I'm assuming probably hour episodes, probably 8 to 10 episodes a season probably, or something like that. But I would love to watch it. Tell us if y'all would like that. You're probably yeah, do it now. But yeah, we love y'all, man. We gonna holler at y'all. Peace.